See, why if you give a simple lollipop to a child, he enjoys it so much that it is like the end of his life because he doesn't have the same sense of discretion that you have. That is why his sense of joy is so high. At the same time, if you take away the lollipop, his sense of suffering is also very high because again he does not have the same level of discretion that you have. But once you're disembodied, you are not just a child kind of loss of discretion, your discretion is completely absent. You go 100% by your tendencies. Lot of dung is being eaten in the world. Because of a little ketchup, you're not able to make out what is dung and what is a real snack. So, we will take off the tomato ketchup, that's all I'm saying. Dung is dung. Intentionally, we've left it without refining the language, without refining the statements, just like that, as it was said. Because it was said to somebody who was asking a genuine question at that moment, a genuine seeker. As it was spoken to him, now we are speaking to the world like that, which is going to cause lots of disturbance.
You, in the death book, you mentioned that sleep is a little bit like, death, that falling asleep is a little bit like that. And if you do that, in a way you said you can die with a smile on your face. Do people fall asleep with a smile on their face too? I mean, is it the same sort of idea?
Yes, in a way, it is… it's not absolutely true, but partially true. It is true, I would say, largely true. Because how one sleeps in many ways, because essentially sleep means you are absent in a conscious way. You're still alive, but you're absent. Death also means you're absent, but you're not alive in terms of your body and everything, you're gone. So, actually, when you put an animal to death, you say you're putting it to sleep, which is a very good expression actually, because you're actually putting it to sleep, because sleep is absence, so is death absence. So, if you can go into sleep consciously, joyfully, it's fantastic. So this is one of the sadhanas that all the seekers do is the point of transition from wakefulness to sleep, they want to conduct it consciously, because if they can conduct that moment consciously, they know they will be able to conduct that moment of transition from life to death also consciously. So when we say consciously, what we are saying is, death is a limited process. As life that you know right now is also a limited process, so is death a limited process. So, the content of life, the life that you are, not the body that you are, not the mind that you are, not the character that you have become, but the life that you are is a much bigger phenomena than what your physical body does, what your intellect or your mind does, your thoughts, your emotions, your drama. This is psychological, physiological, social drama. You can conduct it in a pleasant manner, in a whichever way you like, all right? Whatever is your taste and your pleasure, because different people like different things, it's fine with us. But the most important thing is, what is the quality of life? When the life is same, where is the question of quality? This will arise. Because when life is same between you, me, a dragonfly and a grasshopper, fundamentally life is same. So where does the quality arise? Quality arises in the volume of life that you gather, in the sense. The whole yogic processes, unfortunately, the way yoga has become in the West, it makes me cry the way it's being taught and understood. See, essentially one aspect of yoga, the most vital aspect of yoga is to enhance the life that you are. How do you enhance the life that you are? Let's go back to the same analogy, you and me are blowing soap bubbles. We should do it one day, okay?
I do it.
So,
my daughters are still young enough.
No, I'm saying between you and me, we must do it one day.
Oh, yes, okay, we'll do that, yes.
Suppose your bubble is so big and my bubble is so big. Now I say, see, this is my bubble, it's fantastic. But what has happened to my bubble is, my walls have become very thin, but it's a huge bubble. My bubble will burst much more easily than your bubble. But it has a significance because it's big. So this is what it means, that as you make your life bigger and bigger, the life that you are, as it becomes more and more enlarged, I'm not talking about enlarging your social footprint or your physical presence or your mental prowess, these are different aspects. These are faculties that we have. But the life that you are, when it becomes significant, you know life better than most people simply because it's become a significant part of you. Right now, the most significant part of you is not the muscles that you carry, nor the mind that you carry, not the information or knowledge that you carry. The most significant aspect of your life is life itself within you. When this happens, the other walls become very thin. Anytime it can burst. Once it bursts, it's gone. So essentially, what most people in the West don't understand this because these questions keep coming to me. They want, because they've read some Buddhist texts, they want nirvana. Nirvana means non-existence. Are you ready for becoming non-existent? No, the Western idea of dying is you will go somewhere else where the accommodations are better than California. And there are no fires.
And there are no viruses, yes. Well, one thing I thought to be practical for our audience, I thought we would try to put at least one smile on their face for when they go to sleep tonight, so that they can go to sleep with a smile on their face. And one of the things that
morning, George, I thought it's morning, let them not go to sleep now.
Well,
say that to the Indians.
after stretching their intellects, maybe everybody will fall asleep, so. But if you, one of the things you wrote about, you talked about where you're going to go and whether it is better than California. It's like, it reminds me of a joke that Groucho Marx used to say, that, I wouldn't belong to a club, any club that would have me as a comedian. And I always think about that kind of exclusive thinking when I read the descriptions by some yogis about Brahma Loka. It's like, it's a place which is so exclusive that it won't even take me, But one of the things about the fear, I think, that people have about death, obviously comes from this whole idea of hell and punishment. And you wrote a great line about you can't really be forced to suffer. And you quoted Buddha, and this is in inner engineering, you quoted Buddha as saying, that he will go to hell afterwards because he doesn't have to suffer, so he can help the people there. He won't suffer when he's there. It reminds me of when I wrote an essay maybe 40 years ago, and one of my conclusions was, you can send a man to hell, but you can't make him suffer. I think if people understood that, I think because a lot of people are living their lives afraid of what's going to happen afterwards.
See, the simple thing is this, that right now, if you look at your life, your pain and pleasure comes from within you. I may take a pin and prick, but the pain comes from within you. Pleasure also comes from within you. Joy and misery comes from within you. Agony and ecstasy comes from within you. Or in other words, what I'm saying is, the source of human experience is within you. So what is within you, I believe, must happen your way. It should not happen my way. Your experience should not happen my way. Your experience of life should happen your way because the source of experience is within you. The seat of your experience is within you. The problem is, you're not sitting on the seat. You're crawling all over the place. You do not understand from where the experience is being generated. See, right now, let us say I will abuse you. I won't, I'm just telling you. Because a lot of people are abusing me on the, Twitter trolls all the time, so I am telling you, I will abuse you. In an Indian language, you think I am saying an endearment because you don't know the language. So I am saying the insult itself does not hurt you. It is the way you react which will hurt you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I call you an idiot in an Indian language, you don't know, you think I'm saying good morning to you. So it is not the words, it is not the actions, it is not nothing, it is the way you're responding or the way you're compulsively reacting which hurts you. So, the human experience is caused from within you. If you understand this, if you know this by experience, will you create pleasantness or unpleasantness for yourself? Definitely pleasantness for yourself. What you want for your neighbor sometimes is debatable, but what you want for yourself is very clear, highest level of pleasantness, isn't it? So what is heaven and hell is, in human mind, whatever is the highest level of pleasantness is heaven, whatever is the lowest level of suffering is hell. When you know human experience is happening from within you, obviously these are two descriptions of what a human being can go through, either when they're alive or post that, either within the body or when you're disembodied, both ways it can happen. The advantage when you're bodied is, you have a discretionary mind, you can choose. Right now, you can choose the company that you are in, either to enjoy it or to suffer it, there is a choice. But once you've lost the discretionary mind, which we call as death, when that happens, then whatever is your tendency, you will tend to go in that. Suppose it's your tendency to always negatively react to things and suffer, now once you've lost your body and your discretionary mind, your suffering will become millionfold, simply because you can't decide to come out of it. Right now, you go somewhere, you meet somebody, you don't like something or something that they said, you will suffer something. But when you're driving back, you say, hell with him, and you start playing the music and enjoy yourself or do something, because you have a discretionary mind. But once this ability is gone, if you start suffering, you can't stop it. If you start enjoying, you can't stop it. So both joy and misery become extreme. So this is called as hell and heaven, because you lost your discretionary mind, you're happening by your tendency. So this is why in life, it's very important when you have a conscious discretionary mind, you create a pleasant tendency within yourself, so that when you lose it also, you will be extremely pleasant, because pleasantness and unpleasantness will get multiplied millionfold when you don't have a discretionary mind. See, why if you give a simple lollipop to a child, he enjoys it so much that it is like the end of his life, because he doesn't have the same sense of discretion that you have. That is why his sense of joy is so high. At the same time, if you take away the lollipop, his sense of suffering is also very high, because again he does not have the same level of discretion that you have. But once you're disembodied, you are not just a child kind of loss of discretion, your discretion is completely absent. You go 100% by your tendencies.
Yeah, it's a very good description of first why things happen the way they do, but also why people are afraid of this eventually. And as you mentioned, and plenty of other teachers have mentioned as well, turning within and making sure that you stay connected to your more substantial self is one way to…
They can try sleeping with a smile on.
Exactly.
But see, smile should not be what you do. Smile is a consequence of a certain experience within you. Right now, people are trying to create consequence, which is the fundamental flaw of Western societies now, which has become universal across the planet, is people have become goal-oriented. That means they want the fruit, not the root. They're not interested in the root, they just want the fruit. You know, when I was living on a farm doing agriculture at one time, somebody came, one hotshot sales this thing, and they come and tell me, see, they got some spray which is something, I don't know what, some enzymes and stuff. And they said, on my mango trees, I just have to spray it on the fruit and it will become so big and so sweet and everything. Then I looked at this, because my wisdom says I have to nourish the root of the mango tree, not the fruit. I said, why don't you spray it on your brains and see, let's see what happens. Is it going to become big and sweet? Then we will see.
Did you get a good reaction to that?
No. I heard after 1.5 years after that, they gave up that effort of selling that product.
Well, one of the things you said earlier reminded me of something else you wrote about people always complaining, no matter what people are complaining. And one of the things that I thought of maybe several decades ago was that you can people are always going to complain, no matter how good the situation is. And you can kind of tell the level of any civilization by what people complain about. You know, so maybe that'd be the best way to
Right
judge
now
civilization.
right now in America, they're saying, I want to have a haircut. When there was a lockdown, I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
People are dying around you and you want to have a haircut.
Exactly.
Well, that says a lot.
Obviously,
Because
it's not
you
necessary.
come from my generation, we didn't want to have a haircut when we were young.
Exactly. And it wasn't just to save money.
No, 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 it was a very important thing. So I still stayed young, so I never had a haircut.
Yeah, exactly.
Namaskaram, sir. My question is about death. So those who have done sadhanas and they have been dead, including my grandparents who have been initiated, so will they be attaining mukti?
Last 3 days I've been immersed in this book, this going into publication on Mahashivratri day. It's a book on death. An inside story. Only for those people who shall die. Not for immortal people. So, I've been, there are things that I've spoken, but I've been reading through, and now I'm looking at all the idiotic things that will be said about profound dimensions of life, because people will take it out of context and rub it around, because there are people who are doing PhD in WhatsApp. So, I was just thinking of the various consequences that'll arise out of it, but it's okay. I will say what I want to say. I've always said initial part of my life, I said it very raw. But because we had Janalinga on our mind, I became little diplomatic, said the same things in a little nicely cloaked. Me also started dressing up nicely. Otherwise, I was raw in every way. So most of the talks come from that time, which is very raw and direct. Once again I'm getting there. This diplomacy, time for diplomacy is over, maybe another 1 year, little more diplomacy. After that, we're going to go all out. I didn't know there was such a fan following for that. Because social realities keep changing, but someone has to simply state what is true. Doesn't matter. Most of the beings on this planet who arrived at some profound dimension within themselves, generally they were not even understood in their lifetimes. We don't have such bad luck. They're telling me over 1 billion people have watched our videos till date. That is 16% of my target. Aren't you clapping your hands? Don't celebrate my failures.
No, you're getting there.
So, it's… every generation or whenever a realized being came, the really wise ones never opened their mouth. Over-enthusiastic ones like me opened their mouth and got killed usually. Or some of them were wise enough to clothe it in different ways and try to make it a part of social process. But after some time, whatever they said was misinterpreted in 1,000 different ways and people twisted and turned it according to their convenience. But today we have an advantage that whatever we say is recorded. People cannot easily misinterpret because we replay. It's not that we've hesitated in the past, but we've avoided saying a few things sometimes, except in close circles. But I feel with 1 billion people watching our videos, now the planet is a closed circle. In my hearts and minds, they were already close, but now even in their hearts and minds also I'm close to them. So we cannot speak direct hard things only to people who are sitting here. We start speaking to everybody because those who can't digest it, what to do? They have to go to the toilet. So, why this mode is I feel like never before. The world is ready for a direct hit. No need for doing this and that. This overexposure to all kinds of things, right from early age, everybody is exposed to all sorts of things. This has made people a lot more kind of hardcore. So there is no point talking soft stuff to them. So the death book is a very strong statement. Intentionally we've left it without refining the language, without refining the statements, just like that, as it was said. Because it was said to somebody who was asking a genuine question at that moment, a genuine seeker. As it was spoken to him, now we are speaking to the world like that, which is going to cause lots of disturbance. So, if you feel Sadhguru has lost his civilized clothing and you want to go, you can go into the forest, I mean. Because this time, in the life of this humanity, this time is very important in terms of reach and in terms of exposure. Humanity has never been in this level of reach and exposure. So, this is the super over, we need to hit every ball for a 6. They may be looking for love, sexuality, they're just trying to buy something on Amazon, or they're looking for death and enlightenment. With the kind of population that we have become and the level of empowerment that we have reached, if we don't turn inward now, we are going to be the biggest disaster, that humanity has ever seen. There's only one problem, human being. And the only and only problem with the human being is, he's unconscious and compulsive. Whether you look at technology, you look at politics, you look at religion, you look at industry and business, I'm talking about all the major forces on the planet. All of them are functioning compulsively and unconsciously. So, It's very important that teaching also has a shock value. Otherwise, they know how to ignore these things. It's not just for effect, the truth is like that anyway. Truth is shocking. Few human beings have a digestive system to swallow truth and be fine. If you give them the truth, they will freak. Truth about yourself, I'm saying. If you tell them the truth about yourself, they will freak because they have always been taught by the so-called civilization process, the religious processes and other things to be nice. If you blossom into a full-fledged human being, you don't have to be nice, it's just nice, that's all. So, you must brace yourself up because there are many processes happening. We've set fire in many places which will light up slowly. And also, unfortunately, we also have to tackle not just human beings, we have to tackle the environment. I wish that was not there for us, but that is a massive problem. To a point where people are referring to me as a tree planter, which I don't like. So now with this trillion tree campaign, I've I'll become a designated tree planter. So, even to extricate myself from that, I need to state spiritual aspects little more strongly. Otherwise, people will think I'm a tree planter. Tree planter is not a bad profession, but my business is to make people flower, not to plant trees. So usually the manure tastes, smells bad, I was about to say, tastes bad. That also can happen, A very enthusiastic salesperson saw a new development coming up in Nashville area in Tennessee. So he went and knocked on a door. A lady came and opened the door. He just slipped in and took out a bag and took out a whole lot of horse dung and threw it all over the new carpet. And he said, "See, I have a really fantastic vacuum cleaner without leaving a trace of anything. Not a smear, not a little bit of smell, everything it cleans and makes your carpet smell good. Just like that, in 5 minutes I will do it. If I cannot do it, I will eat every piece of this horse dung." Then the lady said, "Wait, let me go and get some tomato ketchup." Because the house is new, we still don't have electricity. So, if you're forced to eat the dung, tomato ketchup helps. So because of this tomato ketchup, lot of dung is being eaten in the world. Because of a little ketchup, you're not able to make out what is dung and what is a real snack. So we will take off the tomato ketchup, that's all I'm saying. Dung is dung. So about your grandmother. We can do something for her if she's inclined, if she's initiated, definitely. But there are many dimensions to this. In a brief meeting like this, I don't want to open this up. And also, why should I affect the death book sales? Because till now I never bothered how many books are selling, where the hell it's going. But now I've been sitting with the publishers for last 2-3 days, and as I'm, different subjects and various questions I'm trying to handle, but their eye is always on how many books will sell in Mahashivratri. So I don't want to disappoint them. Because how many books sell won't make a difference to me, but it'll make a big difference to them. So you must buy the first copy. It's not about the book, it's just that aspects like this, we must sit down in a different way, not like this. I'm in a evening fooling around mode right now. So we need to be in a different way to address that question.